Okay, is everything coming through correctly? I think it is, but let me just double check here just to make sure. Let's see if my sound is coming through properly and if you fellas can see me. let me check here on YouTube. Okay, yeah, it is. Hello everyone, everything is working, thankfully. How are you all doing, fellas? Let me greet you here. Trake Games, Minctory, Misa, Sofek, and Uncle Leo. Hello my friends, glad to have you here with me. And I want to congratulate Uncle Leo for being a channel member here for 13 months. Thank you so much, my friend, for all the support and for sticking around to play with me. I really appreciate all that, Leo, my friend. Congratulations, that's very impressive for sure. So yeah, fellas, and Minctory and Misa, they're saying hello on chat. Hello, everyone. I hope you are all doing well on this Sunday. And let's play some TF2 together. As you can see, we are today... Oh no, you can't see it on screen here. Let me see if... Yeah, I have to update the server IP. Let me just do that very quickly here. Where is it? Here. Miami. Today we are on the Miami server. It should update on screen. Yeah, there you are. This is the IP to play on it. You can also copy it from the stream description. And it should show up on screen. Let me turn it on. Up there in that corner, you see in the upper left corner of the screen, so you can always check the IP there. But today we will be on the Miami server for the whole stream. I'll be playing Demo Man with the loose cannon, as you can see, and it will be a lot of fun. If you don't know how to connect to community servers, all you have to do is click here in Find a Game, Community Servers, and then on the Favorites tab, you click on this button here, Add a Server. And then you paste in the IP here and it will show up in this box for you to click on and connect. So that's how you do it. Hey Joker Miles, hello there, I'm doing fine, thank God, Joker Miles. I'm doing very well. Why isn't this door opening for me? Why isn't it opening? Come on, very weird. And how about you, Joker Mouse? Are you doing fine today as well? Let me know, please. Hey, Misa has become a channel member. Thank you so much, Misa, my friend. Thank you very much for the help and support, my friend, to recruit tier. I really appreciate, you know, everything helps in our cause to keep the servers running. So thank you very much, my friend. Thank you so much. And welcome to the old school TF2 channel memberships. Thank you very much. And Ghost Eye is there. Hey prof, what's your opinion on video game piracy? That's an interesting question. Do you think it's better to buy overpriced games? I'll talk about that one in a second. Just let me say hello to Trolleyfish there on chat as well. Always nice to have you here with us, Trolleyfish. Come play with us. If you have some time to spare, it will be a lot of fun. So yeah, about privacy that Ghost Eye site is asking. What's my opinion on video game privacy? Not privacy. What's my opinion on video game piracy? Video game privacy is a good thing. Privacy is a good thing. It is important. But piracy is a more you know, polemic topic. You know, people often discuss about it. And you know, I think it really depends, Ghost Eye, on the context, on the situation. For example, I'm not in favor of piracy when it comes to indie games, you know. To video games that are not developed by a huge multi-millionaire company, you know. Video games that are made by single developers or small independent developers. I think, you know, it's kind of trashy behavior to pirate those games, because the developers are already in a hard spot being independent, and when people pirate those games, they are only harming, you know, essentially they are only harming artists, because there would be no large company that would profit from... got you there, Da Vinci! That would profit from selling that game, you know, it's just individuals. Alright, Uncle Leo, thank you so much for the 100 Czech crowns, my friend, saying they're wrecked. Yeah, that's what's gonna happen to me today, because it's been a while since I've played with the loose cannon. But I'll give my best, Uncle Leo, thank you so much. Thank you very much for the support, my friend. I really appreciate it. So yeah, you know, when it comes to indie games, I'm not in favor of piracy. You know, privacy again is a good thing, but piracy, when it comes to indie games, I don't support it. You know, but I think things change a little bit when we are talking about large corporations. You know, big companies like EA, Valve, you know, like Ubisoft, Nintendo. In those situations, I think that sometimes there is an argument in favor of piracy. All the time I have to try very hard not to say privacy for whatever reason. It is piracy that we are discussing right now. And I myself don't pirate games, you know, anymore. I did that in the past when I was younger and didn't have the resources sometimes to, you know, play the games that I wanted to play. And also here in Brazil, sometimes we would even be buying pirated games without even knowing that they were pirated. There is a very large gray market for video games here in Brazil. And back in the day when we had CD-ROMs and DVD-ROMs, you know, when games came on physical media, that was even more prominent, you know. I remember going to the store, my local video game store, to buy some PlayStation 2 video games on DVD. And I had no idea they were pirate video games, because we didn't have the original games here in Brazil. They didn't ship to Brazil, or at least it was so rare to see an official copy of a video game that we really didn't think about piracy that much. We just went to the store and we bought what was available, and the store, you know, only sold pirated video games. I only discovered, poor Pyro, I only discovered that when I was older and I could, you know, buy stuff online in the late 2000s, you know, like 2009, 2008. That's when I started to kind of like realizing that the games I was buying at the store were pirate copies. They were not original. They were not the authentic games, you know, the official release. And that really shows how sometimes piracy is a problem. You know, it's not just a problem of price. You were asking there, Ghost, about buying overpriced video games, and sure, price is a problem in a lot of regions. Brazil, for example, suffers a lot from pricing because the prices are often made to... got a double dump there. Are made to reflect the US and European markets, you know. And something like $60 US, that's I think the default price of video games in the US, or something like that. Here in Brazil, that's prohibitive, you know, that's a lot of money. It's like, for some people, it's rent money. We can't afford that, really. So, you know, it is a pricing problem, but I think it is mostly an availability problem, you know. Hey, hello there, Hovi! Glad to have you here on chat, nice. And Jamie as well, welcome to the stream. And Hovi is from Argentina, and he's saying there on chat, here in Argentina, a lot of people pirate games because of the high prices. Yeah, you know, sometimes it is prohibitive. You could not afford that. Here in Brazil, it is like that as well. And he's also saying, there's even people that pirate games because they hate buying games. Yeah, that I think is another discussion, you know. I'm not against buying games. It's just that sometimes it isn't something that we can afford in our national reality, you know, considering our national economy on developing countries like Brazil and Argentina. But, you know, growing up, the biggest problem, I think, for me and most of my friends was kind of like not having the official games available for purchase. Like I said, we would go to the store. That's even before, you know, Steam really took off here in Brazil. But we would go to the store and we would buy what was available there. And it just so happens it was pirate games. So I think that's really most of the problem. You can't really buy the real thing sometimes. Be it because of the price or because it just isn't available. And there's also the situation in which you really can't buy a game anymore, like it isn't available anymore. That really is a problem that we are seeing becoming more common with the passing of the years. You know, stuff that was available to buy, for example, on Steam or on some other digital market, and then suddenly the developer decides, not the developer, but the publisher decides that that game will not be available anymore. You know, so they remove games from stores. And in those cases, I think even for preservation of a specific game, you know, piracy can be justified if you can't buy it anymore. I think there is even a problem in that regard with movies and TV shows, because oftentimes, you know, even with streaming services like Netflix, you know, Amazon Prime, I think it is, or Amazon, I don't know what's the name, but Amazon has one as well, HBO Max, you know, stuff like that. Even with those streaming services, sometimes there are some media, like some movies or series, that are not available. You know, even if you wanted to buy them legally, or, you know, buy access to them legally somehow, there is no way to do it. And in those cases, you have no other option, you know. And I don't think it is fair to like say, to deny access to culture on the basis that, like, if it isn't available, then that sucks for you. Deal with it, you know. I think people should be allowed, they should have some way to access culture, to access music, video games, movies, you know, books, stuff like that. And if there is no legal way to acquire a product, you know, that's on companies. They are the ones who have to fix that. And we, as people, have a right to try and seek any means we have to reach that content, you know. But yeah, I think piracy is a complicated issue because of that. It really depends on the context. Like, what are you pirating? Why are you pirating? What is the context in which that happens? You know, that's, I think, I got to there, is what we should be discussing, you know. But yeah, I kind of like, I don't think it is a shame that people pirate stuff, content from large corporations. But I think it is a shame when people pirate stuff from indie developers, you know, from the small creator, kind of like that. Then I think it isn't very justifiable. I think that's what I'm trying to say. But the world would be a better place if no one had the need to pirate stuff. So, in the end of the day, I think piracy is a bad thing, you know. We should not live in a world in which piracy is needed. That's what I mean to say, you know. So that's my opinion on it. What do you fellas think? What is your opinion on piracy? Let me know there. And Mustache saying there, why pirate Windows if you can use Linux for free? Lol. Yeah, that's a statement which I agree with, Mustache, for sure, you know. Linux does everything that Windows does and better. Maybe not everything. Okay, there are some things that you can do on Windows that you can do on Linux. Specifically play some games and use some software suites. But even to those, oftentimes there are alternatives that will work well on Linux. So yeah, if you're pirating Windows simply because you can't afford to buy a key from Microsoft, you know, a product key, then perhaps you should look into using Linux. It is an excellent operational system. So yeah, that's true. Hey, Cropping, Allison, glad to have you here. It's been a while. How are you doing? Glad to have you on stream again. Come play with us if you can. We are on the Miami server. Ah, you're already here. Nice. How is Rika as well, your friend Rika? I hope you are all doing well. Glad to have you again here on stream with us, Edson. I don't know what happened here, but okay. And Uncle Liu is saying there, have you been playing anything else lately apart of TF2 and 7 Days to Die? I found out about Deep Rock Galactic thanks to Misa, and I have so much fun with it lately. Yeah, that game sounds very fun, Leo, for sure. It sounds like a cool game to play with friends on multiplayer. Perhaps I should look into that game specifically to play with my wife. I think it is a game she would really like playing. So yeah, pretty cool. I myself haven't been playing much. I got you there, Alison. I have been playing mostly 7 Days to Die in TF2, as you asked, you know. I kinda like always do the same things over and over, you know, Leo. I like to have a routine. So... But I started playing recently a game on my portable handheld called Lunar Silver Star Harmony, I think it is. It is the PSP version of a Sega CD RPG. I started playing it just the other day, and I'm really liking it, you know. It is a very cool JRPG, you know, more traditional JRPG, turn-based, a lot of fun. So I've been really liking that one. But other than that, I'm just working on stuff for school, you know, for my job as a teacher, and playing TF2 with you fellas from time to time. That's been my routine here. And also programming on Pico 8, my next game. I'm making sort of like a Pac-Man clone game with some stealth mechanics, you know. I'll show it to you fellas when it is kinda ready, so you can have a look later. But yeah. And Hobby saying there, some of my best friends had no idea what Steam was. Yeah, back in the day it was like that. Here for me as well, you know. And when I started understanding what Steam was and how it worked, I still could not purchase anything from it, because back in the day you had to have a credit card that would be able to do international purchases to buy games on Steam. You know, at least here in Brazil that was the requirement. There was no other payment options. So I really could not buy games because I didn't have a credit card that could make international purchases. Nowadays it is easier, there's a bunch of payment options on Steam here in Brazil, but a couple of years ago it wasn't like that. And you know, that really pushes people to pirate games instead. It is an accessibility problem, really. So yeah. Leo is asking, how is the game developing going for you? You recently made that 2D game with fish, right? I remember you were making that FPS game some time ago. Yeah, I was making, Leo, an FPS game like last year, I think. But it really didn't work out. I was just playing with the idea, you know, experimenting with some stuff and learning how to use the Godot game engine, which was the software that I was using to make that game. But that one didn't work out. I'll try to make a first-person shooter someday in the future, but for now I am sticking to games which have a narrower scope, you know, a smaller scope. Kind of like simple arcade games that I can finish in 2 to 3 months. Because I feel like if a project takes longer than that for me to develop, I get tired of it and I abandon it. That's what happened to that first-person shooter I was trying to make. So that was it. But it is going very well, Leo. The one I'm making right now, I think I should be able to finish it in about a month. That's what I'm expecting to be able to do. Game development is a very interesting hobby, fellas. If you have ever felt some curiosity about making games and programming games, I would like to really recommend you to try and do it and learn something about that. It is a lot of fun. Damn. Okay, managed to escape that there. Let's try to help the Pyro here. Ah no, he has crits. Okay, so but he died. Okay, no problem. No problem. Let's use this power up here to travel across the map. Let's try to get to that sniper. Yeah, he saw me. Okay. Ah, come on, we killed each other. But no problem. Mission accomplished. Mission accomplished. Hey, hello there, Shadow and Migatuga. Glad to have you here on stream as well. And Hiao, hello there, Hiao. And Misa is saying we should use Linux. Yeah, Linux is great, Misa. Open source, Linux. The free and open source software side of things is the best. And you're programming right now, Misa. What are you programming? Let us know. Very nice. Hey, Mr. Dispenser as well. Good evening, Mr. Dispenser. My friend, come play with us. We are on the Miami server. If you have some time, join us. It will be a lot of fun. Always nice to have you here, Mr. D. Very cool. It's been a while since we talked. I'm glad to see your name there again on chat. Very nice. And Shadow is asking there, hey professor, so if we use pirated Windows, does Microsoft know if we are using their software? So is it good if we use Microsoft Windows, a pirated Microsoft Windows? I think that's your question. I'm not sure if Microsoft can know who exactly is using pirated copies of Windows. Come on, I used the invisibility in the wrong moment, at the wrong time. I'm not sure if they are able to tell like that. I think it is more an issue for them, Shadow, when companies are using pirated copies of Microsoft Windows. I've heard once from a friend who was a teacher in a school. They taught, you know, stuff about computers, you know, how to use Windows, how to use Microsoft Office, how to use, you know, that sort of soft office suites from Microsoft. And he told me that sometimes what happens is that Microsoft will do visits to those schools or companies, and if they find that you are using pirated copies, they will fine you. You know, that there was some sort of intelligence program from Microsoft to do that. I'm not sure if that's true indeed, because it sounds like a weird thing for a multi-millionaire company to do, really. You know, it sounds weird. I don't know if Microsoft would really do that. But okay, you know. But I don't think they're really losing money when the individual consumer uses a pirated copy of Windows. I am not an expert on this topic, but I think, you know, most of the money that Microsoft makes is from sales to hardware manufacturers. So like they will earn a lot of money from notebooks and computers that ship from the factory with Windows pre-installed. You know, that's like their main thing. It's not really individual people installing Windows on their computers. Because when you think about it, really, most computers already ship with an operating system. The people who build their computers themselves and install the OS by themselves, I think are becoming a minority with each passing year. So that would make sense. But I don't know, I don't really know, you know. And I myself don't really care because I use Linux, so I'm free from Microsoft's grasp, at least in that sense. So yeah. And Hov is saying there, the other day I went to a store to get a legit copy of Windows for my PC, but the store owner said that every single one were pirate versions. Yeah, you see, you can't buy the original sometimes. He only had legit Linux copies. He was selling Linux copies. That's so funny, especially because Linux is free. You can download, for example, Ubuntu or Pop! OS for free, or Linux Mint, you know. I think it makes sense to sell those Linux distributions when you are selling like a pen drive, a USB stick with Linux pre-installed on it, you know, flashed on it, so you can install on your machine. Because essentially what you are selling in that case is the USB stick, not necessarily the Linux distribution flashed in it for you. But yeah, I've seen, Hovi, in the past, Ubuntu CDs, you know, like 10 to 15 years ago, I've seen those on store as well to sell, you know. It is a lot of fun. I think, if I'm not mistaken, that a couple of years ago, not now really, but in the past, you could write a letter to Canonical, which is the company that develops Ubuntu, and they would send you a Ubuntu disk for the cost of shipping. So you wouldn't pay for the disc itself, you would only pay the shipping to your house. So that was something you could do as well back in the day. The world was kind of weird when internet wasn't around. Nowadays, when I think about that, like you could write a letter to have a CD shipped to you. You know, it looks so outlandish, you know, nowadays when we can just simply download stuff from the internet. I guess I'm getting old. So yeah. And Hiao, come play with us. Are you here on the... Ah, you are already on the server. Nice, Hiao. Nice to have you here with us, my friend. Hi, Mr. Dispenser is editing. Just released a new video. Ah, very nice, Mr. Dispenser. I haven't been watching a lot of YouTube these days, you know, because I'm doing other things, but I'll try to watch your video. Very cool. What's it about, Mr. D? Explain to us on chat there. What's your new video about and what are you editing? What are you working on? I'm curious to know that. Very nice. I'm saying there what he's programming. I'm making a turn-based strategy. A turn-based strategy game. And trying to make it as much customizable as possible. Ah, very interesting, Issa. What is your game about? Do you already have a setting for the game? Or are you only working on the systems and mechanics of that game? Very cool. I sometimes, you know, I start making games and I'm only working on the core systems and mechanics of the game. And sometimes I feel like it is easier to keep going when you define a setting for your game. Like with my last one, the last one I published, the fish game, Turtle Tailgate, I feel like kind of like I say a lot of like, I should stop doing that. But I feel like it was easier to keep working on the game when I decided that I wanted to have a fish game, you know. That it was gonna be a game about swimming, about being a fish in the ocean, you know. I think we oftentimes leave that decision of what setting will our games be. We oftentimes leave that to the last moment, but maybe we should start development with that idea clear in our head, you know. That's what I... God bless you, honey. That's what I started doing on my notepad of video game ideas here. I sometimes don't even know what I want to do with a game, but I'll write a setting for it. Ah, I want to have a game about bees, a game about zombies, a game about playing soccer, a game about tailgating turtles as a fish. Here you can see the plan I wrote for that fish game. So that's an advice I would give, you know. It really helps me out to keep working on the project and not abandon it early in development. So yeah. Mr. Dispenser is saying there about his video talking about Pyro. Very interesting. Pyro is a class that you know, divides opinions. People oftentimes fight about Pyro, if Pyro is easy to play or not. So that's an interesting one. I'll try to check it out. And bless my wife. Yeah, she was sneezing. I think that's the word. She was sneezing here. Thank you so much, fellas. Thank you very much. And also, you're editing some rapid reviews for your second channel. Very nice, Mr. Dispenser. Pretty cool. You know, post a link to your second channel there on chat. I think you can do that because you're an admin. If you post a link, I think it will show up to people. So feel free to post the link to it so people can check it out. That would be nice. And Hobby has a copy of Windows 98 with box and everything. That's an old one, Hobby. I think I started using computers when Windows 95 was still the main one. So I've used 95, 98, XP, and 7. I didn't use Windows Vista because I knew it was rubbish. So I've used and I also used Windows 8.1. It is the one that I have installed here on this machine on a second hard drive. It is Windows 8.1. So yeah, I've used a lot of Windows myself, but that 98 copy you have there is a relic. Make sure to preserve it properly, Hobby. Pretty cool. And Mustache saying there, I'm thinking about start streaming TF2, but it is kinda hard to set up OBS, and I still don't know if I should stream on YouTube or Twitch. Yeah, you know, the setup part is a bit complicated, you know, not very complicated, but a little bit. If you look for some tutorials on YouTube, Mustache, you should be able to do it. I think to start off, you should stream at 720p 30 frames per second. You know, that's a good goal, a good base to use for your first streams. So just try to set your OBS to that. 720p resolution and 30 frames per second. That's good enough to start. And in regards to streaming on YouTube or Twitch, I know, for example, that Misa, Hovi, Mr. Dispenser, they all stream on Twitch. I've watched some streams from them before. By the way, go check them out if you want some cool TF2 streamers and YouTubers. They are great. So perhaps you fellas could talk about what you think. Should people stream on YouTube or Twitch? I myself never streamed on Twitch, so I don't know what the experience is like. Pretty cool effect, you see? Very nice taunt there, Mr. Mista. Very cool. And we have here on the video game Linux, saying Linux here, I think it is Mista, this one. Very funny, my friend. But yeah, I've always streamed on YouTube, and if I could share my experience, you know, I would say you should stream on YouTube if you have a YouTube channel already. Like, you should post videos and stream on the same channel. Some people oftentimes say that you should not do that you should make a separate channel for streaming, or that you should stream and post videos on different platforms. And I don't see anything wrong with that, but especially if you are a small creator, I don't think it makes sense to spread yourself too thin, you know, over multiple platforms and channels. So if you are already making YouTube videos, then I would tell you I would tell you to just stream on your YouTube channel, you know. Your subscribers and regular viewers will hardly follow you elsewhere, you know. For example, you have YouTube subscribers, it is very hard to bring those people to Twitch to watch you. You know, they tend to stay on YouTube if they are already using that platform. So I don't think it makes much sense to stream on a separate platform. It is better to just post videos and stream in the same place. That's what I do, and when I started streaming on my channels, on both of them, it was very good for my watch time, and that really helped my videos to get pushed, to be recommended, you know, in the algorithm. So that's what I would recommend you do, Mustache. So yeah. Hey, André the Desk, glad to have you here. Very nice, very nice. And about Misa's video game, he's saying, I got only like the core system and adding mechanics to it. Ah, that's very nice, Misa. But yeah, try to at least think about a setting, you know. In what kind of world do you want this game to be? Like a World War II setting, a medieval setting, cyberpunk setting, you know. I think that thinking about that actually helps you also think about the mechanics you want for your game. Nice, got a double dunk there on your last grape. Always funny to do those. I really like the loose cannon, even if I'm not very good with it. Another one, you see? The sniper went flying there. It is a lot of fun to get those double dunks. Okay, let's try to rush here. Ah, come on. Come on. I don't want to die here. Yeah, the almighty pen managed to... free and open... No, I've killed free and open source software. No, I don't want to do that. That's very bad. I didn't mean to kill free and open source software. That's not what I wanted to do. That's not good. Ah, come on, your last grade. So yeah. Mr. Dispenser is saying there, I think Twitch is a lot better than YouTube. YouTube streaming is really weird in my opinion. Twitch is way more user-friendly, but that's my opinion. Yeah, you know, I think it comes down to familiarity, you know, Mr. Spencer. To me, Twitch sounds like the weirdest platform, you know, I don't really get it. But that's because I don't really use it that much. Sometimes I log in to kind of like say hi to one streamer here and there, send some beats here and there when I have them. But I stick more to YouTube as my preferred platform to watch content. And we have here on the server Linux versus Windows, you see? That's a lot of fun. Linux's brother, free and open source software. You fellas are clowns. You are so funny. I really like you fellas. Role playing as operating systems. It's so funny, so funny. Let's see who wins this battle, Linux or Windows. Who will prevail? A lot of fun. I think like Twitch perhaps has more of a culture of live streaming. So that might make it a better platform. It was born with live streaming in mind, you know, that's the goal of the platform. But I actually like the way YouTube sets up live streams for you and the tools you have to properly manage your live streams and to manage the community, you know, to moderate chat. I think YouTube has better tools, or at least tools that are more accessible than Twitch, in my opinion. But again, I didn't use Twitch that much for live streaming. You know, I just check out their panel and try to figure things out. And YouTube looked more accessible to me. And another thing I like about streaming on YouTube versus streaming on Twitch is that it is easier for you to get your stream recommended to other people on YouTube than it is on Twitch. I've heard that from other creators as well, that discoverability on YouTube is better because YouTube is a platform made to kind of like recommend videos and content to other people. I don't know if there is an algorithm on Twitch to do that for you, but I am under the impression that on Twitch you depend more on people looking for your channel, kind of like browsing the streamers and picking you from a list. On YouTube it's not like that, you know, people can look for your content and for your channel and see who's streaming what game, but oftentimes when they are like watching a TF2 video, the stream will get recommended to them on the sidebar or on the recommended videos after the video they are watching ends. And especially when you are already posting videos to your channel, that can be very good because there could be someone watching one of my videos right now. I don't know, I killed Arch Linux, my distribution of choice, no. But yeah, there could be someone watching my videos right now and then they will get recommended to watch my stream as well. So that helps a lot, I think. And I don't know if Twitch has a feature like that. I don't think so. But let me know if I'm wrong in this assumption, because again, I don't really know much about Twitch. I've just checked it out and didn't really use it that much. So yeah. Wrecking Ball is saying, streaming on Twitch can be more interactive between the viewers and the streamer. Yeah, I know there are some games that have Twitch integration, and that's cool. But I think in the end of the day, interaction really comes to the streamer and to the viewers, you know. It's more like a mood you create on your streams, that like people are invited to comment, to play with you, you know, to share their experience. I think it's more on the streamer's behavior than on the platform itself, the interaction of it. Kind of like I sometimes see people streaming and they are like they are just playing the game. They are not even checking chat, or when they go check chat, instead of like talking to people and having a conversation, they're like, oh yeah, You know, just that, and then they say nothing about what the people was. I got you there, yo. About what the people was saying. So I feel like it is more about how the streamer behaves in that case. Hey, hello, Fire! Glad to have you here. Welcome to the stream. Very nice, very nice. And Minctory is saying, Professor be like, I'm not good with double donk. And also, Professor, managed to do 2 double donk. Yeah, so sometimes it works out. The loose cannon is a funny weapon. You don't really have to try that hard with it. You just throw grenades here and there. Sometimes you charge your shots. I think I plan my shots a little bit, but not that much. I'm just having fun here. So yeah. And about Linux, Wrecking Ball is saying there, people disrespect Linux and say it's only used by cheaters, but most cheaters are using Windows. Yeah, that's a fact, Wrecking Ball. And that's a fact because most people are using Windows. So logically, there will be more cheaters on Windows than on Linux. That argument that Linux empowers cheaters or that, you know, cheaters prefer to use Linux really is a misconception. And proof of that is how many cheats are available for Windows. You know, there are even Windows-only games that have a bunch of cheats. For example, you know, I think some Call of Duty games are only playable on Windows. The latest Call of Duty, what's the game of it? The Battle Royale one. What's the name? That's what I meant. I don't know what it was called. But I know they have a problem with cheaters and that game doesn't run on Linux, as far as I know. So yeah, that's true, Wrecking Ball. For real. Okay, let's try to get these people here. Let's do this. Let's spam a little bit. Let's try to hit the medic with the pen. Didn't work out. Against the vaccinator, you sometimes have to use melee weapons. There is no other way. So yeah. Emisa is saying there, I think that Twitch is more customizable and has more features, but it's harder to set up. Yeah, so there's a comparison from a Twitch streamer, another one. So there's Mr. Spencer and now Misa. Interesting to see you fellas prefer Twitch. You know, perhaps I should give it a try someday. Streaming there, just for the experience of it, you know, just to see what it's like. Very interesting. Okay, let's try this. We have a... but it didn't work out. I was gonna say, we have a demo man here with the caber, and I got killed there instantly. Mustache saying there, another problem I have about streaming is my PC is really low end, but it runs TF2 at medium high configs at 40 FPS average. Yeah, then perhaps you won't be able to stream very well, Mustache. Because it really takes not only the hardware on your PC to stream, but also your internet connection, your bandwidth. You need a lot of bandwidth to stream. You know, depending on the settings you choose to do that. But you can try it out, you know. Try out different configurations and see how it goes. For sure. Hey, Wrecking Ball is also an Arch Linux user. By the way, I use Arch. Yeah, hello there. Glad to have you here, my friend. Very nice. Victor is also talking about Fortnite. Yeah, there's a bunch of Fortnite cheaters. And Fortnite doesn't run on Linux, it is Windows only. So yeah, you know, I think that idea in the TF2 community that TF2 has problems with cheaters and bots because of the Linux support, it really is fear-mongering, you know, it is spreading misinformation about Linux, how it works, and also about how TF2 works and how the bot problem works. Essentially, the bot problem is a Steam problem. You know, if Steam could ban automated accounts, kind of like figure out, this account is run by a bot, then we would not have problems with bots in TF2. And that's not something that is OS dependent, you know. YouTube, for example, has systems to ban automated accounts, or at least to keep them at bay. They are not perfect, but I know those systems exist because oftentimes I check what is it called? restricted comments on my channel, the comments that go in the spam filter. And there's a bunch of bots there posting spam, you know, posting leaks, saying stuff that has nothing to do with the video, spamming advertisements. So there are systems on YouTube to figure out, this account probably is run by a bot. Let's restrict its access to the comment section, you know. Again, it isn't perfect, but it is there, it exists. And Steam clearly has no system to do that, or the system that Valve uses is very outdated or something like that, because it isn't working. So that's really a problem on how Steam works, not a problem with having a Linux version or something like that. I was actually very upset when I saw a video. I think it is an old video, you know, and I believe he informed himself better after that. But I was very upset when I saw a video from Orange Glazer, I think that's his channel, about the bot problem, and as if it were a Linux problem, you know. Because I think the fear-mongering started there. It was a video that really hit the public and stick with people, even if most of what he's saying there is misinformation about Linux. So yeah. Not to say bad things about another creator, you know. Orange Glazer is great and everything, but I really think that video was a disservice for the TF2 community. And that's a shame, really. But yeah, it's old news now. What else are you saying there? Let me see. Ein Hobby is saying there about Twitch. Twitch for me is easy to use, but my internet is like, no streaming today. Yeah, that's often the problem, Hobby. I myself was having, a couple of months ago, I was having some problems with my internet connection as well. It was at the peak of the pandemic, you know, and everyone was sticking at home best they could. Because here in Brazil we had some restrictions imposed, but we didn't get here in Brazil a proper lockdown like we had in other countries. For example, like in Australia or New Zealand, which were kind of like the first place, in example, in fighting the COVID pandemic. We didn't get lockdowns like those here in Brazil. But when people were sticking more to staying at home, I could feel my internet connection fluctuating more, you know, and dropping out, because everyone was using the internet at that moment, basically. And internet connection here in Brazil is kind of bad. We don't have very good ISPs here. So, but nowadays it's been better. And I have a good service plan, I think, that has a lot of bandwidth, so I most of the time don't have to worry that much about connection issues. I think it's probably because I live in a very urbanized area, you know. Back in my parents' house, where I lived before I moved in with my wife, the internet was a lot worse. That was a funny ragdoll for sure. That was a funny one. So yeah. Minto is saying about cheating on online video games on Fortnite. The cheaters on Fortnite are like 1% of the game community. I never in my life found a cheater in both Xbox and when I had a good PC. That's good to know, Minto. I think in general, cheaters are a small portion of any gaming community. It's just that when they show up, they really put some people off, you know. People are off-put by cheaters when they show up. But even in TF2, if we had access to some sort of statistic, like how much of the community is cheating actually, it would probably be a small part. You know, I think, for example, bots are a bigger problem than cheaters currently for TF2. I know there are people who disagree. They would say like, no, but cheaters are a more prevalent issue. But I think the bots are more common than facing cheaters. You know, like human cheaters. But that's just down to my experience with the game. You could have a different experience for sure. So yeah. And Megatuga is saying there, at the moment, apart from your lives, I only play my live streams, okay. I only play on casual, and I think, at least in Europe, the bot crisis is getting better. Ah, that's good to know, Megatuga. I've heard that from my Brazilian subscribers as well, that the situation with bots is getting better on casual. You know, in the last weeks, that things seem to be improving. And I don't know if you fellas saw that, but there was a bunch of people on Reddit. Okay, you disappeared there for a second, Archlinux. Where did you go? There was a lot of people on Reddit posting that they are seeing bots actually getting VAC banned, you know, for cheating. So it seems whoever at Valve is working on TF2 right now is doing some good work, so keep that up. I'm happy for that. Very nice to know. Hey, and Fitz is also there. Hello there, my friend Fitz. Let me just place you, Fitz, as an admin here on the stream here. So you can also moderate comments, and I can see your name show up as the admins, because you are always here with us. You're a fellow content creator. I really appreciate when you show up here on stream. Very nice. How long have I been married? It's been, what, 4 years, honey? We married in 2018, so let me count that. 19, 20, 21, 20, yeah, 4 years. So we've been married for 4 years now. Not much time when you think about it, but it really changed my life for the better, you know. I really recommend you fellas, if you find someone you really like and you are happy with that person, then go marry that person. It is great. So 4 years, Fitz, we've been married. Hey, Gangray, glad to have you here. Very nice, very nice. I'm Gangray saying there, I mean, if you solve the cheating problem, you kinda stop the bots. That's true to an extent, Gangray, but we have to remember that bots don't need to cheat to be disruptive. You know, that's something I've talked about I think on a previous video about the botting problem. And sure, it sucks that bots cheat, you know, that's bad. But if they weren't cheating, but they were simply mass spamming servers, you know, kind of like blocking server slots and stopping people from connecting to that servers, or disrupting the matchmaking because they will get into a server instead of a human player, that's bad enough. Not to mention that these bots, you know, connecting to servers and all that stuff really is a huge cost for Valve, I imagine. I don't really know what is the infrastructure that TF2 uses to host casual matchmaking, but usually these sorts of matchmaking systems have an on-demand kind of like way of working to create servers. So it's not like Valve has a bunch of servers always running. They probably have a set number of servers in each region, and when the volume of player increases or decreases, the servers shut down or open up to accommodate those players, you know, to accommodate the demand. And when you have a bunch of bots connecting to your servers and making, you know, new servers show up for connection and using server slots, that increases your cost of operation. So even if they are not cheating, they can disrupt the game, and they can be a problem. Arguably a smaller problem, you could say, you know, if they are not cheating, but they could still be a problem. So fixing the cheating problem in TF2 and fixing the bot problem are different things. That's what I mean to say. So yeah, Wrecking Ball is saying bots are different from cheaters. Yeah, and again, they don't need to cheat to disrupt the game or to cause problems to Valve and to us. So that's what I mean. And Fitz is saying there, parabéns, congratulations. Also 2 years of pandemic time, it's like 8 years. So you've been married for 10 years already. Yeah, that makes sense, Fitz. The pandemic really hit, you know, like a major historic event. I wish we weren't facing this in our time, but yeah, I agree with you. It really seems like it's been going on for a lot longer than it has. At least I managed to hit that scout once with the pen. That's good enough for me. Okay, now we have here this demo main. Ah, Arch Linux got me there. So funny, so funny. Hey, hello, Mr. Cropline. Glad to have you here. Welcome to the stream. I'll be wrapping things up soon. I think I'll only play this round because we are getting close to the 1 hour mark. But welcome, Mr. Cropline. I'm glad you arrived to check a little bit of the stream. And Hov is asking, can I marry my PC, my computer? Do whatever makes you happy, Hovi. Do whatever makes you happy, my friend. So funny. Be happy. Live a happy life. Okay. No, I'm gonna die here. There's 3 people following me. I'm gonna die. Mentor is asking about a Brazilian literature book here. Policarpo Quaresma. Yeah, I know about the book. You're making an animation about it. Very interesting, Mentor. Very nice. That book is a very interesting read. Pretty good book. I don't know if it has been translated to English, but it is a very interesting story. Policarpo Quaresma. It's the name of the main character, if I'm not mistaken. So pretty cool. I just subscribed. Welcome to the channel, Mr. Cropline. Welcome. Thank you very much for subscribing. I really appreciate it. Hope you enjoy my future videos. So thanks a lot. And Hansel saying there, I love the caber. Yeah, the caber is a lot of fun, Hansel. So much fun. So yeah, fellas, I think I'll be wrapping up things right now. I think I'll be ending the stream right now. This server will still stay up for you fellas to play on. Don't forget, it is a dedicated server, so you fellas can come and play on them as much as you like, whenever you like. So enjoy that. And thank you very much for being here, you know, to chat, to play, to have some fun together. I really appreciate these moments of interaction we have here on this channel. So thank you very much. Hey, Jovsky as well. Welcome, Jovsky. And he always saying Linux 2, Windows 0. I'm glad Linux won the battle, Hiao. Let's wish Windows more luck next time. So much fun. So yeah, fellas, thank you very much for being here, and I hope you have a wonderful week. We'll talk to each other again next Sunday. Bye bye, everyone. Bye bye, Fitz. Bye bye, Hovi, Trolleyfish, Mintory, and all the good people here. Thank you very much for being here, fellas. I really appreciate you all. Cropline is asking if I can subscribe to someone. Send me a link on Twitter, Cropline. I'll check it out. I don't promise I will subscribe, but I'll check it out. So send me a link on my Twitter account. I'll check it out. Hanselt, bye-bye. Tsofek, bye-bye. Wrecking Ball, Linux, whoa, let's go. Yeah, let's go. Bye, fellas. Have a wonderful week. Here's a big hug.